what are you doing here? Like, why are you here?
Why are you here? Like, what? What is the goal?
What is the point?
There's no answer.
There's no answer. And I think that that's what we're meant to believe. The universe called.
What did they say?
You in danger, girl.
Oh, shit.
I think we're going to be fine. I was like, I think we're going to be okay. And then we were, so.
This is a room of water moons, so it's kind of like a lot of emotion.
Yeah. We do just well. We would do just fine.
We're doing good.
Okay. Great.
Well, we have our stones.
We have our stones.
We have our rose quartz.
We do.
Which sometimes I'll bring it with me, like when I teach.
No,
and I'll
you
just
literally had it the other day when I took your class, and you were like, "Just so everyone knows, I have my rose quartz," and we were like, "Great."
I'm like, that's the energy of this moment.
Honestly, I like it. I feel like I should bring my stones more when I teach because I have so many, and I don't really do much with them. I just like hoard them, like a weird stone collector.
But the energy of the stone is there, so even if it's just at your house, I feel like it's affecting you. But but also, give the people what they want. Like if they're coming to a yoga class, they want stones.
Okay, so
are
we starting? Okay, so are we paper rock scissoring for who? Scissoring.
Also, wait, we're gonna say. The universe called, what did it say? And then what are we going to say?
Yeah, so I'm on who's going to say the universe called. And then whoever says the universe called, then the other person is going to have to just come up with a response.
Okay, which is which,
no, okay, the universe called, what did she say? And then the person who said the universe called has to come up with a response.
Yes. And are we saying they or she?
Oh, damn.
Universe is a they, right?
I think the universe is a they.
What do you think?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? Like, universe ain't gendered.
Yeah, I think universe is not gendered. I agree. Okay.
So wait, whoever wins has to come up with it? Mm-hmm. Okay. Ready?
Okay, ready?
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Okay, well,
okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Okay.
Oh, wait, so I have to...
Oh, no, you don't have to. I lost, so I would have to, I guess. Because then the person who loses, I guess, has to...
You have something to say.
Has the burden. The burden. Do I have something to say? Can we...
Yeah.
One moment. Okay. Nat, the universe called.
What did they say?
You in danger, girl.
Oh, shit. I mean, really though,
it's an overused quote, but like, come on, it's
but it matches the energy of this moment.
I mean,
2025 already. I mean, especially in LA, but 2025
is feeling very dangerous.
It is,
but you know what? I do believe, and this is, I think this is partly why we chose to do this podcast. I do believe if we're paying attention to the signs of the universe, to the messages, to the breadcrumbs, to the lessons, there's always hope. There's always hope. There's always a way. If there's a will, there's a way. And so I guess I'm willing. I'm willing to look for that way through whether it be like the stars and the transits and the age-old philosophy of yoga, which we both
which
love.
Is why we're here. Actually, in fact, should we?
Oh,
are we
introing? Are we here? Okay.
I think we're here.
We're introing.
I think we're here.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, this is the universe called.
Hi.
I'm Natalie.
I'm Courtney. Why are you interested in spiritual stuff, Natalie?
Well, Courtney, just to start out, I grew up in Detroit, which, you know, in the suburbs, and my parents were super into yoga and health food and like really into spirituality. My mom is a therapist, which also we both have therapists.
So is my mom. Yes.
Yes. And they're both Virgos.
Yes.
So there's some sort of connection there.
Yep.
And so my mom was super into like healing and would go to like ceremonies and all sorts of things. And I was always honestly really embarrassed of this. Like I would try to hide it from people because I was like, oh my God, my parents. And then I ended up doing yoga in college. I went to theater school and we did like yoga and Pilates and stuff. And then I just got obsessed with it. I had like a Kundalini DVD with like Gurmukh, if anybody knows who she is.
Familiar.
Who like was one of the first teachers at Golden Bridge. And I would do this like Kundalini DVD like in my early 20s.
Which is like a little out there.
It's pretty out there. Like I would just be like, and I would feel so good after meditating or doing yoga in this way that was just, I think it was just beyond physical for sure. And then I literally had like a ping like in class at One Down Dog before I was a teacher. And I was like, I should do this. Like I just was like, and this was over 10 years ago. And I was like, I should do this. And then that night I signed up for my teacher training. And then the rest is history, I guess.
Yeah. I remember you doing, because you were like the second round of teacher training or something like that. You were very early in our teacher training program.
I didn't do it there.
Oh, you didn't?
No. I did it in Venice. Yeah.
Oh.
I know. But I was in ODD taking class.
Did you ever do so you never even like did like feedback classes or anything at One Down Dog?
No. I did do a fitness training. So I did fit training with like Mandy.
So you just like started teaching there.
Yeah. I auditioned with Essence. Like I was in the class with Essence and she did her like 10 minutes and I was like, oh my God.
I remember Jess talks about Essence's audition. Like she auditioned with a baseball cap on. It's like goes down in history as being like epic because it's like you roll in, you're teaching yoga with a baseball cap, bitch. You got the job, ho. Like
you're so cool.
Yeah,
like, and she had all of us just like feeling into like she was like reach down into Mother Earth. Like I was like, okay,
you're like you're like cool.
And then I had to go after her. I feel like, and then I just got really into astrology. I just kind of felt like. It was like a mix. Like my ex-boyfriend's mom is like an amazing master astrologer. She's in her late 70s, but she did like my natal chart and like a sort of forecast for me, like after my move to LA and how that affected me. And I was like, there is something going on here because like the transits, I would look at them and not like it would predict future for me, but it would sort of inform what I was experiencing. Anyway. Tell us about you.
Oh, okay. Well, I just started with my mom. Like my mom, she has been into astrology for really as long as I can remember. Like I had to have been like a preteen or something like that. So she just kind of used that language to communicate with me and my sister, just growing up. When my mom and my dad got a divorce, again, I was, I think around, I want to say 12, 13. My mom went through this kind of like, spiritual awakening, and she started meditating and, like really getting like her like mind, body, soul together, and reading a lot of like Deepak Chopra and Dr. Wayne Dyer and Louise L. Hay. And I remember as a kid, I would be like, my punishment for things would be to read these books and write book reports on them. Like that, which
write
is
a
like
book report,
which is like, honestly, as a kid, the same way that you were like so embarrassed about your, like, that's fucked up. Like, I'm like, I don't want to read this book. Like, are you kidding me? Like, no,
like
thank
at like
you.
12, 13?
Yeah, literally. Like, no, thank you. But now as an adult, I'm like, what a brilliant idea for me to have to read like Louise L. Hay at 12-13 and to come back and report on that. So like as a really, like again, as a really impressionable young person, this was just kind of like a part of my upbringing. And I think it was also like, I didn't realize how how kind of not normal it was, because she was a Black woman who we grew up in the South. She was raised Southern Baptist, you know, the Black religiosity around like, you know, that just her upbringing.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize how just rebellious and radical it was for her to just be so spiritual in that way and so into astrology. And now I'm just like, Mom, you're a badass. That's so cool. When I went to college in New York, I was a sophomore. It was my first year. This is aging me a little bit. I know I don't look a day over 20.
I mean,
but
it's true.
But it was my first year. It was my first week, my sophomore year, and 9/11 happened. And I, like probably so many people in the city, experienced incredible PTSD. And my mom suggested that I tried yoga to just help with some of the symptoms that I was experiencing as a therapist. She recognized that I was definitely having some symptoms and some side effects. And I started doing asana yoga, and I had some friends at the time that were really into kind of like veganism and just very staunch, like yogis. And so I kind of went that direction for a while until I found the balance, found the middle. And I moved to LA, and I was experiencing a little bit of depression, and I got back into yoga and became a teacher. And yeah, I just...
You got your certification in LA?
I did. So I did. I moved out here and at a little studio called Yoga Blend in Burbank. Tiny little studio. Mm-hmm. And a little mom and pop.
What's her name?
Christy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I had a teacher who just kept like being like, oh, I think you should. She kept giving me the brochure or like the pamphlet for it. And I'm just like, I don't want to be a teacher. And she's like, oh, the guides are telling me you should be a teacher.
Wow. I just got chills.
Yeah. And then she had a student in class. She was like, I have a student in class who is a channeler. And she said, that girl's a teacher. I know, it was really bizarre. She kept saying these. And I was just like, I don't want to do this. And she kept being like, yeah, the guides are saying that you are though. And so finally I did it. And then here we are. This year I think is, I want to say my 14th year or 15th year teaching yoga. Wow.
Mm-hmm. How many times have you said down dog? Sometimes I think about it. I'm like, how many times this week did I say down dog?
So many fucking times. So yeah, I teach yoga. I love astrology. I mean, it's just like, again, part of my DNA. And I find it to be so, like you said, informative and so interesting. And yeah, I just love this shit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you, but like I know that we're talking about, right now I'm talking about the sun, right? But like when we're in different sun seasons, like the solar season, I like sense the vibe of the season so much. Like where I feel almost like it's like going back into like the way people used to live, where it's like, oh, in the winter, this is what we do. And in the summer, this is what we do. And I'm like, in Aquarius season, which we're in right now, it's like we innovate, we think about like the bigger picture. I mean, I guess we're getting into the vibes of Aquarius, or it's like if I'm in Virgo, maybe I'm, into like how things are physically changing. I don't know. And
you just tap in. I mean, if you're again, it's a way to just pay attention, paying attention to what's happening around us and internally, and how that relationship of like our internal world with the outer world. And I think so many of us just kind of and that's no shade, but like, I think it's just probably a protective mechanism in a lot of ways of just to get through the days.
Yeah.
But how like useful it is and how powerful it is to really pay attention to what's happening and how we are affected by what's happening.
I don't know, like I'm remembering is like, I know this is kind of random, but like in high school when we would like learn about, I was in a class where we were taught English and history in the same class. And so they would teach us what was being written at the time in history and how art was sort of being created based on what's going on around you. And I do feel like art is a reflection of like the state of the world that we're living in, which brings me to, you have a quote for us.
Oh, I do. Well, I do have a quote for us. But first of all, so this kind of wraps around it. It pulls so many things together. But in coming back to our origin stories, when I became a teacher, I realized that there weren't many teachers that looked like me. I was like, hold up. And I think I knew that as a practitioner, but it became glaringly obvious when I moved into the seat of the teacher that I was oftentimes the only one. And so there felt like a little bit of a responsibility.
Yeah.
Especially teaching a practice that really comes from a people that look more like me than the people that I'm teaching to.
Yeah.
If we want to keep it 100,
Yeah, or like the people on like the cover of Yoga Journal or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yoga Journal, don't sue me.
Yeah.
Like don't.
Please don't come for us.
Please
Yoga
don't. I don't
Journal.
have any money.
I mean, maybe Yoga Journal's trying to do better. But anyways.
No, they are.
They
I'm
are.
just saying,
Yeah.
like, I'm thinking about like the early
But also,
2000s.
No, well,
like,
when we started teaching, you know, like if I started teaching in 2011, like
it looked different.
1000%.
Yeah.
And so at that time I was like, oh, hell to the nah. Like I just started feeling like I feel like I need to be a more of a voice. And also if I'm really teaching yoga, and I think we'll really get into this because this is so much a part of what our podcast is about, is if we're really teaching yoga, it is a practice of the pursuit of freedom and liberation for all people.
Of all people.
Right. If this is what we are teaching, this is what we're practicing, then like I can't ignore the fact that we are practicing this in a space that most people are experiencing oppression, marginalization. We don't have access. Yeah. I mean, let's just,
Absolutely. Quite frankly, like, the origin of yoga asana and everything was not to pay a lot of money to a yoga studio and go. It was sort of like people learned through different, through their teachers and then offered it as a service. And then people kind of took care of the teachers. It wasn't this like big money exchange, which like I understand we are in capitalism, unfortunately.
Of course. And like, please
so it's like,
come to our classes.
Please pay me.
Yeah, please. Because we work hard, you know what I mean?
We work hard.
We work hard.
It's a job, 100%, but it wasn't supposed to be this way.
Yeah.
I think it's important to mention that.
Yeah, and also, I think that if as teachers, if you are inclined, there is something so much richer to offer in the teaching of yoga. So that's where I was. And then 2020 happened. So I was already interested in teaching yoga. And when I talk about teaching yoga, I'm talking about teaching the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, right?
Right.
And then 2020 happened and George Floyd was murdered and I was radicalized as a yoga teacher. And I was like, oh, I need to use this platform to talk about the hard things in these spaces. And I was actually pleasantly surprised that people were really open to being in a space where this kind of discourse was encouraged. And that there was no need to kind of hide any longer. That in the space where we are not required, but we are invited to be vulnerable. We are invited to kind of
be open, be curious,
to change, to evolve. That we're kind of doing it together. There's not the spiritual bypass shit that's happening here. It's like, no, we're going to talk about what's happening together.
Yeah, even if it's uncomfortable
sometimes.
I mean, I do think it helps, like, the community that you're working with. I mean, you know, we're in LA, so I do think more so, and I'm not saying, like, oh, not in other cities, but perhaps that's part of it. Like, that people are willing to
absolutely
have the difficult conversations.
I don't know how this would go over, you know, in some other places.
Yeah, we won't mention them. Mostly I just can't think of any cities right now. I'm like, a city. Another city.
Literally same. I'm like, I was gonna try to call it a city, but then I was like,
I'm like, I can't think of a city right now to save my life. So let's just say we're in LA, so it's easier. It's hopefully, and look, it's not always easier, but I'm just saying, you know,
yes,
we teach at a studio that's very, like, the community is very sweet, is a general thing, and people are more willing to be open, even if it's difficult.
Yes. So at the studio, which was great, we started this weekly class. It's called FUBU, For Us, By Us, and I teach to the Black community. It is Aquarius season, but it's also Black History Month. Happy Black History Month. not
Wait, should I not smile? I feel like it'd be weird if I didn't smile. You shouldn't say it, and then I'd be like,
no, you should smile.
Like, I'm tapping out.
It was so cute. You went 1,000% just smile.
Okay, how am I going to wear mascara ever? That's why I don't wear eye makeup.
I'm sweating.
Sweating and crying with laughter.
Okay, I'm sweating. Okay, so it's Black History Month. So anyways, this class usually has like 5 to 10 people with like maybe 1 or 2 like you know.
I'm sorry, I'm trying. I'll get back.
Oh my God, this is fantastic. Anyways, Black History Month. First Tuesday of Black History Month. It was packed as fuck in this class. Can we say fucking? Yeah, we can say fuck.
We're going to be explicit.
Okay, great.
Hide your kids.
Hide your kids, hide your wife, they said.
Yes, as they say.
Okay, so it was packed. And it just made me think, so this is going back. We're circling back. We're coming back. See, we came back eventually.
We did it. Love a comeback. Love the circle back.
It was really just like seeing all these people together, because I think like right now in Aquarius season, but also just like generally speaking, 2025 and even before 2025, just like the world. Thank you.
We all need to exhale.
Okay, so maybe take a breath.
2025. Huh?
Okay, can you lead us through a breath?
Okay, let's all take a breath, everybody. Wherever you're at. Feel your butt on your seat. Feel your spine. Feel your crown. And then start to feel your breath come in through your nostrils. We'll inhale. Expand all parts of our lungs. Hold that breath in. And open your mouth. Exhale all that breath out. Oh my gosh. Every time that we can just soften, I feel like we need to just... last week, my classes were about just pausing and softening.
So good.
Right? Like, because sometimes life is like, we're going for it. Sorry, I'm on a podcast. You can't see me. But, you know, it's like you're pushing forward and you're tensing up everything. I just feel like sometimes we have to.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
As
you were saying.
Anyways.
2025.
I do believe that the way to kind of dismantle humanity is to isolate us, to make us feel isolated. What is it? To separate, divide and conquer is what the saying.
Oh my God.
Right?
I never thought about it that way.
Yeah. And so it feels very divisive, right? In this world right now. And in this country specifically, but in the world,
Yeah.
What I experienced in this class was, and granted, it was in community, right? So it was just all Black people, but like, I just felt so much joy. And I think that like the false narrative is that everyone is like depleted. Everyone is like stripped of their joy. Everyone is like flattened.
There's no answer.
There's no answer. And I think that that's what we're meant to believe, so that we don't feel hope, so that we don't have any
resistance.
Totally.
Or, like the strength, I feel like, just to jump in, comes from the community. Like, I mean, I say this all the time in my retreats. I'm always like, we are not actually designed to heal alone. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We are not meant to walk through this world alone. Mm-hmm. Like physically, like I'm just talking brains, physical body, health, spiritual health. We are not meant to do it alone. Mm-hmm. And I think like the more that we get divided and told that we're alone, then the more hopeless we get. And
Absolutely.
The more together we are, like, it's like the stronger we are.
Okay, so here I'm going to read this quote, this Toni Morrison quote that I think is going to really take us into Aquarius.
Gosh, those glasses are so cute.
Oh my
gosh. I
gosh.
should have brought glasses. That would have made me look, people would take me more seriously. Like all of a sudden I feel like I'm like, oh, this girl read Deepak Chopra when she was a little girl, This is
actually why I brought them, because the truth is I could read this without my glasses. I use these glasses for like long-term readings, like when I read my book at night, because I do need them. But like, I could probably read this without my glasses, but I brought them so that I would look smarter.
Look at that truth, that honesty.
Yeah, I mean, because don't I look fucking smart?
No, you really do, but also cute.
I know. That's why I brought them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so next time, bring yours. Okay. So I'll read this quote. This is precisely the time when artists go to work. There is no time for despair, no place for self-pity, no need for silence, no room for fear. We speak, we write, we do language. That is how civilizations heal. I know the world is bruised and bleeding, and though it is important not to ignore its pain, it is also critical to refuse to succumb to its malevolence. Like failure, chaos contains information that can lead to knowledge, even wisdom, like art. That's a good one.
It's so good. I don't know if we have a date on that, but I'm just like, because I know we pulled it from like a few different things, but like that had to be a little while ago.
I imagine.
And I'm like, but how, I don't know, like how of the moment is that? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And like that, it's like, it's not time for that. Like, I'm sorry, we can't wallow in pity right now.
So, okay, so let's pull out a little bit. What is Aquarius? Like,
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
So what do you think of when you think of Aquarius?
Okay. When I think of Aquarius, and listen, Aquarius, don't come at me for this.
Get
either.
her ass.
No, don't get me.
Her ass.
Honestly, I've had at least 2 Aquariuses break my heart. Just saying. I always tell people that. Okay, sorry, that was a little sad. Let's move on. So Aquarius, I think of, first of all, it's a fixed air sign. And we'll talk about the different modalities of signs, but it's a fixed air. So I think about like something that's not as flexible, something that's like kind of strong in their way of doing things. And usually I think about like aliens. I think about weird. I think about like kind of doing things the way that you want to do them, your own way, an inventive way, unusual. Sometimes I think cold.
Yeah, because it's out there. It's fixed, but it's like fixed out there.
Yeah, it's fixed somewhere outside of like the earth. Like that's why I think of an alien like floating in a UFO, like being like, what's going on in Earth?
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
What about you?
Fixed air, traditionally it's ruled by Saturn, which I think is kind of interesting because I think it is very interested in like systems, you know, different than the Capricorn, which is like more of like the worker, like how do I like fix the system, but more of like the like technology, more like the more like kind of like innovative way of like a system, and like rebuilding systems kind of, and like, not the maintenance of it, but more of like, how can I like rework this? More modern astrology will say it's ruled by Uranus, which again, it kind of puts it out there.
Yeah.
It's like the weird, it's like the strange, it's like the like very out there planet. But I think of them as being, they're a little aloof. You know?
Yeah.
They can be a little, they do their own thing. And they can feel a little like just detached. There's a little detachment to them because of the systems part of Aquarius. When I've been thinking about Aquarius this kind of season, something that I was really kind of thinking about is one of the more beloved systems in like the yoga, like, you know, the yoga lineage is the chakra system.
Yes.
The beloved chakra system. People talk about the chakras, the chakra. Many people call them the chakras. But,
or chakra.
Yeah. But, you know,
you want to hit the Sanskrit.
The C in Sanskrit is always like chocolate, but you know, whatever floats your boat. The yoga police will not come and get you if you say
actually
chakra.
They will.
I always tell them, I'm like, they're coming. Recently, Rue has been calling the police on me. I have a 3-year-old, almost 4, and she's been calling the police on me.
Oh my God.
I'm like, girl, we don't fuck with the po-po.
Triggering.
I know. I'm like, how do I, what?
She has to be learning it at school.
She
obviously.
is. And it's like, okay, it's okay. And she keeps saying like, firemen are brave and firefighters are brave. I'm like, they are. And she like, so she must be learning about service people, which is great. And I'm like, yes, they can be of service. They're problematic, but they can be of service. Absolutely. And I don't want to just make a general sweeping, you know, judgment on police. However, they're problematic, and I don't know how to teach my 3-year-old. But she keeps wanting to call the police on me. Like if I'm like trying to discipline her, she's like, I'm calling the police.
You should be like, call a therapist instead.
Well, I did.
I
did. I was like, well, you know, you can call like CPS, but if you call CPS.
No, don't do that. Actually, you know what? Oh, no, she doesn't read yet. I was like, you should just give her a picture of Wayne Dyer.
I know.
You're like, just call him. Actually, I think he died.
He did. I think he died kind of recently. I think. Okay, this
got dark.
This is gone.
See, it's Aquarian.
Yeah, this is gone. Okay, so anyways, I think of the chakra system, which, by the way, side note, you're probably, if you're familiar with it, maybe from like the Wheels of Life, which is written by Anadea Judith, but it is from the Vedas, which is like one of the oldest texts if not the oldest. Many say it's the oldest, which I believe, but you know, who's to say, because it's so fucking old. So the chakra system is a system, like wheels that move
of energy.
Yes. That where nadis coincide, right?
Yeah. So the nadis are like channels of energy that flow through the body, and like in yogic texts, they talk about like that we have like thousands in our body. We have like the
72,000 maybe.
Yeah. And then the main one is the Sushumna,
and that
goes up the spine.
Yeah. And then there's Ida and Pingala that are the
right and left sides.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you want,
where they cross is where the chakras are.
Yeah.
Each chakra is. Yes.
And so they're located like, you know, there's physical like trigger points, if you will, for these energies. But the main thing I feel like that I'm relating it or thinking about Aquarius is how Aquarius is a system that you can't necessarily see, but it's there. It's like holding place for things like energy.
Sure.
And each chakra area has a different focus, different quality, different meaning.
Well, what I was thinking about too is that like if an Aquarius season, right, we are kind of if Aquarius season is a time that is ripe for dissecting systems, looking at the systems that are not working and getting rid of those, and then looking at systems that are working and preserving those, and then inventing new systems, right? So it's all about like what's working, cool, what's not working, release, and then creating new systems. The chakra system we know is a system that has proven to
create harmony, balance,
and help us pursue liberation for ourselves, like to connect us to our highest self. And God knows that all of us
need to work
can benefit from connecting to our highest self.
Yes.
Right? Or to the divine.
Yes.
Right? So
Can I say something?
Yes.
I just want to piggyback off of that.
I love it.
I also feel like it's important to mention that the chakra system, while we're talking about sometimes individual things, that it's a system.
Yeah.
I always tell people that when I teach, let's say I'm like, okay, this class is on the 4th chakra. I'm like, just so you know, we're talking about this, but whenever we talk about it, we have to talk about the whole thing, because you can't get to the upper areas if you're not balanced in your lower areas.
Absolutely.
Just wanted to say that.
Absolutely. And I think it's important to say that, because what we're going to do right now is kind of hone in on one particular chakra. Mm-hmm. But what's important is that that chakra is really fed or feeds into not only all of them, but specifically the two that it's nestled between, because it is the Leo full moon, right?
So it's the Leo full moon.
It's the Leo full moon.
Courtney is a Leo. Oh my gosh, we never told everybody.
Oh, our big three. Okay, well, I'm a Leo.
Are you surprised? Are we surprised? No, listen. Are we surprised? Look at you. She's just a shining sun.
Like a diamond.
Like I want to be warmed by the sun of your smile.
I mean, I'm a Leo sun, a Scorpio rising, and a Pisces moon. So I do have a lot of water and very intense water. But I mean, that Leo sun is just
strong.
It's strong, guys. It really is.
And we love it.
I mean,
and I
love
feel
it or hate it, it's here.
So I've heard this. Nadia, remember, who used to teach at ODD?
Love
so
Nadia.
like she once told me, or maybe I saw it on her Instagram.
She just gave me a reading recently.
Gosh, we should have her on here. Mm-hmm. Nadia, do you want to be
Actually,
on our show?
Going to make because I have a list of
You're
future
gonna text
guests.
her right now?
No, I have a list of future guests, and I'm going to add her to our future guests. Look, I have a list.
I love
Nadia.
it. And I think once she told me, like, it's amazing how many yoga teachers have Scorpio placements. Oh. And specifically because I think she also has a Scorpio moon.
It's all about transformation.
Because it's like transformation and being able to like hold space for people to go into, I think, like intense spaces.
Because they're transforming. You're holding space for transformation.
Yeah. And I do think like having the Scorpio thing.
And you have a Scorpio placement.
Yeah. So I'm a Taurus sun. Like I was eating like potato chips when we started. Like I was like, where are my chips? Mm-hmm. And I was like, it's a Taurus thing. So I'm a Taurus sun, Scorpio moon, Cancer rising. Mm-hmm. So we both have water rising, water moon.
Yeah, we do.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. And we both have fixed suns.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like,
yeah. But honestly, we hold it down. We hold it down.
Yeah. Well, that's what I like about a fixed sign. Regardless if, you know, you're going to get along with them or if they break your heart or whatever, at least you know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Like, I will say my partner is a Virgo. Like, sometimes that's mutable earth. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know exactly what's happening.
That's facts, because my mom is a Virgo and isn't your mom a Virgo?
Yes.
And sometimes it's like, not sure what you're going to get. Because that mutable is a little bit...
It's a little bit changing. Changes.
Yeah.
Oh wait. So okay.
So
Aquarius.
we're an Aquarius,
system.
the Aquarius sun, but Leo moon, full moon, right?
Leo full moon.
Whew, bright. Okay. And kind of when I'm thinking about how this relates to chakra system, Leo full moon makes me think of the third chakra, right? Third chakra is the solar plexus, this yellow. It is our will. Oh,
Should
yes.
we talk about this?
Oh, why not? We have
This
it.
is a moment.
Okay.
We both brought stones.
Yes. Okay.
We didn't talk about that.
This is the yellow obsidian I got the other day at House of Intuition.
Is it okay I'm holding it?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes it's like you hold someone's rock. It's sacred.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, sometimes I'm like, is this a sacred thing for you? You know, I don't know. It's okay. Like, to me, if you hold this, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. That feels okay with me.
But your energy goes
also,
onto it.
Yeah, I know. But also, you're not like, you're not weird. Like, if maybe I didn't.
Well,
that
could be debatable.
But like, you're not someone that I don't.
That you don't want holding your rock.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So we're going to read about it.
Okay. So this it is a man-made. This man-made variety of obsidian is like a small ray of positivity, especially helpful when working on color therapy for your chakras. This stone helps to open up and align your solar plexus. If you feel like you're carrying around the weight of negativity, this stone introduces positivity back into your energy field. With yellow obsidian nearby, you're protected from bad vibes and optimism is always within reach.
I love that.
Wow. Talk about spiritual bypassing.
Hey, that's the answer. All you need is this rock and then positivity.
Positivity is all the way. Okay.
But for real, though, I will say, sorry, I know we're getting off on tangents, but like I'll teach a third chakra focus class and people will leave and be like, I just feel really like good. And they're like happy. And I'm like, yeah, that's the sun. That's the sun of your body. That's the brightness. That's the Leo. That's, you know, it makes sense.
For me, I always, when I'm working on third chakra, I always leave that practice feeling reminded of my like capacity.
I love that.
You know, it's like, oh my gosh, I forgot. Like, honestly, I will tell my students, I'm like, don't forget you're that bitch. And you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that bitch when I'm done.
Yes.
I'm like, yes.
Yes.
Because it is that. It is so much that of like, and I think that's the balance, right? Because that's the balance because you know I was about to use the words. That's the balance of it.
What?
You know, I want to say the shadow, whatever. But it's like,
we had a debate about. Well, it wasn't even like a debate. It wasn't a debate.
You're right.
I was just like, it's being out of balance. Like we don't want to go too far into I'm that bitch, but we want enough I'm that bitch to get stuff done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Because sometimes too much I'm that bitch is like. Because what it is that you don't want to use your third chakra to dominate other people, right? Or to oppress other people. But using that third chakra to uplift. So as you're rising, you bring others with you. That is the magic of the third chakra, right?
Yes.
And I think that's
it's leader vibes.
Yeah, it's leader vibes.
It's
absolutely.
not dictator vibes.
Yes, babe.
And you said, didn't you say something about a class that you taught about third chakra? And you were like saying if like the chakra below, which is the second, which is water, and then the one above, which is air, the heart, like if those weren't aligned, then like, or connected, then
that's what I was saying.
Then you're dictator.
That's what I was saying. I was like, basically, it's so much about the system because you can't forget that it's nestled between these two, like beautifully, like, you know, feminine chakras, because and when we're talking about feminine, you know, masculine, feminine, like the chakras will like kind of, you can give that, you know, give those, qualities to the chakras or not, right? If that's not the vibe, you don't have to. But like traditionally, right, you'll say like the second chakra is feminine, the fourth chakra is feminine, and the third is masculine. But the balance you need, that's why it's nestled between this beautifully like creative, fluid, like chakra, the second chakra that's all about one-on-one connection and reproduction and, you know, pleasure. And then this fourth chakra that's all about like unconditional love and like universal love and, you know, compassion. And then you have, it's right here in between the two.
And it's like, okay, we're going to like get shit done with all these things. I always say, I'm like using all your creativity, enjoyment, contentment to bring you to this place to do it in order to proceed with love. Like,
Absolutely.
you know, it's like building upon.
Absolutely. It is a build upon. So like as we move out into the world, to do for others, we are doing it from this really, like from this place of our power.
Yeah.
That is for me, like what this Leo full moon is offering in the sun sign of Aquarius.
Oh my God.
So
yeah.
Yes, tap into your power, your will, your wisdom, your innate wisdom. You know what to do.
And just to go further, so that you can maybe serve the bigger collective. Because like, you know, if we're talking about one of the things I think about, like Aquarius is the collective and Leo is kind of the self.
It is.
But I feel like when they come together, they kind of can work together in that sense.
Absolutely.
It's like, how am I showing up
for
the collective? How am I coming into a yoga, like let's just say we're talking about a yoga class. I'm showing up in my yoga class with my community, for my community, with my whole self. And, you know, a full moon is a time to release, receive, and give gratitude. Like kind of as a general.
What can we let go of that might be kind of getting in the way of us being our full selves or showing up as our full selves for our community?
Yeah, like where are we kind of blocking ourselves even? Like, you know, if we're talking about things not being aligned, because in order for that to show, in order for us to show up, sometimes we do have to release something.
It's really interesting just you saying that, because I do think that the Aquarius, you know, because Aquarius and Leo are opposite signs, and the Aquarius is so unapologetically themselves. And I do think that the Leo, even though that is the presentation, the Leo really cares kind of about what people think.
Yes.
And, you know, and I think that what the Leo can like take from the Aquarius is like releasing this need to be perfect or to show up in this perfect way.
In order to be liked.
And in order to be liked, and just show up in a way that is actually better suited for themselves and for their community.
Yeah.
I'm feeling that. Like, I'm leaving here feeling like I just learned something for myself. Like, damn, because as a Leo sun, I'm like, damn, well, I don't give a fuck what y'all think. Shit, let me just do me.
And
you know what
like,
I mean?
You're like, but you like me though.
No, 1000%. I'm like, but are you going to like this? Are you going to watch the next episode?
Yeah. Oh, well.
Are you going to listen? Are you going to, well, I guess because you're listening too.
I'm listening? No. Oh, you mean like they're listening to you right now?
No, they're listening to us. But you are listening.
I'm listening too. You're saying they're listening to what you're saying.
Because it's also on YouTube, but also they're listening.
This is why we're here. It's for the healing.
Okay, so let's leave them with a little last little gem. So we were saying, do we want to?
Oh, I know. Okay, so do you know?
No, do you know?
I do know. Okay, so just to kind of wrap up everything that we've been talking about.
Love it.
One of the things that we also wanted to talk about in this moment, going back even to this Toni Morrison quote, where it's like, it's not the time to be hopeless and just give up, but more so that I wanted to bring up one of, I guess, a tool in yoga, you would say, which is drishti. Drishti is the gaze. It's not just where we're looking, it's also the quality of where we're gazing. There's different drishti points when you're practicing to kind of keep you focused on what you're doing when we're talking about yoga asana or meditation. What? Did you want to say something?
No, I'm listening.
Okay. And then, you know, I kind of feel like when we're in this world where there's all these distractions that are happening, right? Like there's all kinds of stuff going on, and it's very distracting, and it can pull our focus away from what we want to accomplish, whether that is just being in community or getting grounded or whatever that is, or moving forward towards a better world that we want to see. I do think that it's important to remember that when we're meditating, when we're practicing, there will be distractions.
Absolutely.
There will be, somebody will like come in late and throw their mat down in the middle of your meditation. So there will be distractions, right, in our lives. And when we're meditating, you know, your mind might start going like, oh, I'm thinking about like what I have to do later, like what I'm going to eat for dinner, you know, whatever. And it's not being like this perfect person who's meditating completely and never distracted. It's about being distracted and then going, oh, I got distracted. I'm going to gently, with compassion, come back to what I was doing. And I always tell people the meditation is not about being able to drop in and meditate. It's being able to return. And we are strengthening that muscle when we meditate. And that can be seated meditation. That can be taking a walk. That can be some sort of form of, you know, resistance in this world that we're in. It can be anything. And be like, oh, I've lost my way. Where is my focus? What was I aiming towards? And continuing to come back to that. And even just to tie it in, which like, I didn't even know I was going to say this, but it's like thinking about a third chakra, like to me, that is like direct energy. That's warrior 3. Like that is, you are throwing an arrow, you know, towards some sort of action. And you have to really know where you're going.
You do.
And you might get a little...
You might waver. You might waver.
You might wobble.
Yeah, you might wobble. But you just get right back in. Because that's what we do. We fall, but we get back up. And it's the get back up that really is what makes a true warrior.
And to even go back to that quote, sorry, I keep going back to that quote, but that quote is hitting me, where she said something about like failure is useful. Like we learn... I love this so much because we don't learn when we're always winning. In life, in anything, we're learning. Like if I'm talking about yoga poses, right? I'm not going to learn, okay, so much about warrior 3 if I just get into it and it's perfect. But if I get into it and I go, oh, I wobbled when I did this thing. And then I'm like, oh, that doesn't work for me. Do you want to read it again?
Like failure, chaos contains information that could lead to knowledge, even wisdom.
That's it. So it's like taking the things that are tough and learning, like the chaos, the confusion, and learning and growing. And she also even said, like art. Creating right now.
From that.
I mean, so much beautiful art has been created during really difficult times. Plays and music and movies now and TV. Like, these are all from hard things. So that's...
This podcast.
That's this podcast. Yeah, this podcast came out of a necessity. Do we want to tell them how it came? How it started?
Ping.
So I was taking, like, for me, I teach a lot. You know, we both are teachers. And I was like feeling really like I wasn't taking class enough. Like I would have home practices. It's not the same as going in. I started taking Courtney's class once a week, and it would be like every time she would talk, I'd be like, that is exactly what I needed to hear. And, you know, I was just like, it's very rare nowadays to have a teacher take the time to have like a Dharma talk before class. And I feel like Courtney was doing it. And I was just like, I had a ping and I was just like, Courtney, I would text her after class. And I'd be like, I think you need to record this. And then she was like, do it with me.
Natalie was like, I think you need to record this and I can help you. And I was like, great, because I don't know how, but I really want to. And then Natalie was like, okay, I'm going to help you. And then Natalie was like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing either.
That to me, why are you pointing to yourself? Because you don't know?
Literally, Natalie was like, I can help you. And then I was like, okay, great. And then we had our first meeting. She was like, great, I don't know what I'm doing either, but John's going to help us.
And like, listen, that is the perfect example of my Gemini Mars and my Venus and Aries. Those two things, like where I go, I'm going to go ahead and do this. And I'm like, actually, I don't even know how I'm doing it.
I was like, great. I'm glad we have John.
Haven't you heard leap and the net will appear?
Yeah, I mean, the net is John.
The net is John. Thank goodness.
Thank you, John.
Thank you. Okay. So basically, Aquarius is kind of a return to the self with something bigger in mind. Something bigger, something greater, and how we can affect the systems that we're living in and the systems within ourselves, which ultimately connect us, if we're going back into yoga, back into chakra system, that all connects us to the seventh, which is the connection that's at the crown, that's connecting you to the divine and beyond, which
I think in a beautiful way connects us to that Pisces energy, which we'll talk about on the next episode, when we will be in Pisces season with a Pisces new moon.
Yes. So tune in for a Pisces new moon. And you have a Pisces moon. So
I do have a Pisces moon.
She's going to be feeling it.
I'm going to be feeling it.
Make sure that you please subscribe to our podcast.
Yes.
Write a comment about it.
Yes. A good review or something.
A good review.
And follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, we're The Universe Called Pod. And, you know, just let us know what you think.
Yeah.
We love you guys.
Yay.
Thanks for showing up for yourselves.
Bye now.
Okay, bye. The Universe Called Podcast with Natalie Burtney and Courtney Sauls. Filming and editing by John Meyer. Theme music by Chit Cray, Studio Inertia. Special thanks to Donna and Robbie Falks.